Well, good afternoon. My name is Rusty Cottrell, Debbie Cottrell, physical therapist and a dietitian.
Aloha.
Aloha. How come we're not on the
'Cause
picture right
it
there?
never shows that.
Oh, it doesn't. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to tell you my story just real short here, but I was just minding my own business several years ago, actually more than that, about 8 years ago, in my physical therapy practice here in Kauai. And a patient wanted to share this information with me, and I was too busy. And I had a good practice going, and when I came home, I had children who wanted to do different things, and so I didn't really feel like I had time to do something different, to look at anything different. My daughter, on the other hand, she listened and she got interested, and she would ask me, "So, Dad, what do you think?" I'd say, "It's a scam. That's plain and simple. It's a scam." And anyway, she said finally, she said, "I think I'm going to do this." And so, just to help protect her from getting involved in something that was a scam, I looked at the science finally, and I was in love instant. My second love, my first love right here. Second love is nutrigenomics and what we can do.
And when he decided to do this, sharing this information, I am swamped as well. I was working at his office and teaching homeschooling our kids. And I just went, I don't have time. But he jumped in, and I wanted to be the supportive wife. So I put on my dietitian glasses to take a look at it. And the science is really what caught my attention. I wasn't going to share snake oil with anybody. So it had to have scientific backing. So that's what really caught my attention.
The science that really kind of was a slam dunk from me was a study. It was funded by a drug company. So they were funding the study. It was done in the Netherlands, and the researcher happened to put our product in that study. I thought, okay, what better study could you find than the competition's word on what you have? And they basically said that our product was more potent and therefore maybe a better therapeutic strategy. So that, for me, that was a slam dunk right there.
And I thought I knew everything as a dietitian. I mean, that sounds really, I was staying up with my continuing ed
Super into health.
and very into health.
Yeah.
And this kind of hit me out of the blue. And I went, could that really be true? But let's share a little bit of that science with him.
Okay, let me get the screen up here. So you've heard the term oxidative stress, and we thought we knew all about oxidative stress, but we didn't. Anyone want to hazard a guess how many? Well, actually, you're looking at the slide there. I want to get rid of that right there. And I got to move this down to do that. I can't press play. You see that?
Yes,
it's not letting me. Hang on just a second. There we go. So I thought I knew everything about oxidative stress, but I didn't. But you can see in the picture there that that the signs of aging are on that apple, and you've all seen that. Well, we also have the same thing happening in all of our cells. So
mute that person. Can't do it.
So hazard a guess how many free radicals you think, and I've asked this to many people, and they'll hazard a guess by saying a million. They just think they're really reaching high when they say a million. But then I tell them it's 300 sextillion. 24 zeros.
You gotta mute that person. I'm sorry. And I can't do
Rachel,
it.
can you please mute yourself? Oh, right there.
There we go.
Ask to mute. Okay, there she is.
Okay, perfect.
300 sextillion is just such an amazing number. It's
huge.
It's huge. If you subtract a million from 300 sextillion, I tell people you still got the same number.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's just not that much. Now I can't do the advanced slide for some reason.
I know.
You see that?
Yeah, it went off the.
Yeah, it went off there. So I'm sorry, guys. We'll be right back. If I can get. We lost our curtain. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we're going to talk about basically 3 ways in which we age. The top left being a study showing through the age from 20, basically 0 to 80, showing that increase in oxidized lipids. That study was basically proving what oxidation does, and then also what our activator could do with that bottom 4 pillars, they're being the same height. So we actually can demonstrate that, but also this on the right here, looking at the NAD molecule and mitochondrial function, they go down with age. And then the bottom left, you're seeing sirtuin activity, which you may not know what those are, but basically we can measure those in people as they age. It kind of goes almost level for a bit down, and then all of a sudden just that drop off. And that's when people start really feeling like I'm getting old. I'm not, but people that say that. So we can address those 3 areas. Interestingly enough, and this is kind of geeky here, but just showing that when you influence one thing, you actually can influence. So basically, this is like that, the top part and that middle top part is showing that first slide you saw on the oxidative stress, but then it's affecting the mitochondrial function, the NAD levels, so that everything's kind of in this synergistic bubble, we call it. So
Yeah, they all work together.
they all work together. So those are basically how we age. That's right there on that slide. This is showing a cross section of survival genes, which we have. Survival genes, basically what they do is they basically keep your cell alive so it can do what it's going to do. So if it's in a liver cell, you want that liver cell to survive. If it's a heart cell, you want that heart cell to survive, right? And so you have these 500 or so genes that help those cells survive to do their job. If it's a heart, it's got to pump. If it's liver, it's got to do all that things that liver do, everything else. So basically, this is showing what oxidative stress does to those. To understand this slide, anything above that normal line there you're seeing is too high, and anything below that is too low. So oxidative stress is actually, those 300 sextillion free radicals are ruining the way your genes are expressed.
Yes.
And we're able to do this.
Which is basically to take the high ones back to normal and the low ones back to normal so that they're all functioning like they're supposed to. And that's what caught my attention. That was amazing how with age, they become dysfunctional, but that with the proper activation, we can actually make them functional again to the level that they were supposed to be at.
Yeah, this also really excited me because, you know, when you take a supplement, you're thinking it's going to help a one thing or two things. This is actually 500 genes that are normalized. You know, that, so we're into definitely a different thing. We call it activation. Go ahead.
Yes, and nutrigenomics. So as you can see here, we provide science-backed, and that's what I had to have, premium products, because we have a stellar and ethical company that activate, and that's the key word. We activate. We don't just supplement. And it optimizes the body's natural functioning processes. For anybody who wants to be healthy, they want to feel and look their best.
Who doesn't want to feel and look their best?
I think everybody does.
So we call ourselves the Activation Nation.
Yes,
right?
We activate, and that is such a key component of the company and of every single product they bring out.
Well, it's the next step beyond supplementation. Yeah. And we can activate a lot of things. We're going to go over that.
So with those 3 things that you were talking about earlier, those 3
oxidative stress,
pathways,
mitochondrial dysfunction, NAD loss, sirtuin loss.
Right. The company came out with a activator for each of those areas to activate the cells.
On the function. left, it says Protandim Nerve 2.
Hopefully it's their left. It's the dark blue bottle.
Okay, the dark blue bottle.
Yeah.
Thank you for that correction.
And then the one on the opposite side activates the mitochondria. The one in the center will activate the sirtuins.
Well, it activates your cells to make more mitochondria.
Well, yes.
Which are the powerhouse of the cell.
Which is why
which makes more energy.
Different than supplementation, because a supplement might hit one area, whereas in activation, you're hitting the whole function.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it was the NRF2 that really made such a huge difference in how my heart was functioning.
Right.
It was the NRF1 that made such a huge difference in how my lungs were functioning. I mean,
I double my strokes per breath that I can sprint. I have these swimming sprints that I do.
Yeah.
When I added the mitochondrial biogenesis, I actually doubled my strokes per breath that I could do in 30 days.
Yes. And with the NAD, we're protecting basically our genetics. So we're protecting how the genes are replicated and protecting so that they aren't getting bombarded by that oxidative stress.
And not just taking NAD. This is actually very little amount if you measure the amount. But what we're doing is we're activating the genes that recycle NAD.
Yes. which is huge
It's amazing.
because it does so much more than just a
Well,
supplement.
it's
of
100% in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Basically increases your levels.
But we don't just activate those three things. The company was so excited about activating, well, first of all, go with this
Let's
one.
go with this first. So just, I'm gonna tell you what I'm excited about just in one area, so that you see the picture on your left and you see the graph there. Well, the one I'm interested in the most is the HEMOX1 there. You read it at the bottom. HEMOX1 is a gene that helps with anti-inflammatory production. Inflammation is the root of all disease, right? And cancer. And so if you have inflammation long enough, it turns into cancer, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so we're able to ramp up that anti-inflammatory gene when you take all three of these activators that work together, like that slide I showed you with all three. When you take all three together, same time, it activates that gene, that tight, what, 800 and some odd %.
Yeah.
That's what I got excited about. I mean, and it helps everything else too. But let's move on. We got a lot to talk about.
So we talked about how not only activating those three pathways, but
We can activate your pet.
yes, we can activate your pet, and pets don't have a placebo effect. So if it's something's
Amazing
changing
stories.
within them, it's not because they think it's going to
Yeah,
change.
just ask whoever sent you to watch this and they'll tell you a pet story.
Absolutely. It's amazing. And then
We talked about the three already.
the three. So we can also activate the gut health,
That's right.
and with the probiotics, prebiotics, and a postbiotic, which is also a daily wellness formula.
Exactly. That fat burn and the weight management system. We found out some new stuff. Tell them, honey.
Well, activating your fat cells, your white fat cells.
You may not know this, but we have white fat and brown fat.
Yes.
Brown fat has mitochondria in it. White fat doesn't.
That's right. And the brown fat will burn more calories.
Exactly.
So when you can activate your white fat to become brown fat, we called it Beijing,
That's right.
then you're burning more calories without
I feel like
cutting
Beijing today.
calories and without
Ever
exercise.
said that? I feel like Beijing today.
I'm excited about Beijing. I like
Okay,
Beijing.
good.
Then we can also activate the brain with a product called Axio, and they call it Smart Energy, but it's NRF2 activation for the
nootropic,
brain.
basically.
Yeah, a nootropic, yeah.
Yeah.
Then also activating the scalp cells for your hair.
I kind of wonder when they came out with the hair care, like, okay, what's up with that?
Well, we noticed the difference because you're starting to get a little thin back here, and I was getting
I
a
took
little thin
I took a
right here.
picture is what I did. I took my phone and took a picture, not knowing I was actually doing the little thin spot back there.
Yes.
So I immediately started using the serum there. And
So
it looks thicker and fuller.
it does.
I can say that.
Mine
legally.
looks thicker and fuller
It
as well.
it really does look
Which
thicker and
is
fuller.
exciting. And then you can also activate, the company's also given us a way to activate our skin cells from the outside in.
Yeah.
And that has made a huge difference with your skin, because we lived by lakes and then we lived by the ocean, and we both hated sunscreen, and consequently we had a lot of sun
I had
damage.
severe sun damage. In fact, I used the skincare for 2 weeks. My first 2 weeks in the company.
Mhm.
I used the skincare and I called my son on FaceTime. And you should have seen this shocked look on his face. He was speechless. And when he found words, he said, "What happened to your face?"
Yes.
Just like that.
Yeah.
What happened to your face? Yeah, it's completely changed my skin.
And we have little creatures in our ocean that creates oxidative stress on our skin,
Pochos.
called pochos or Portuguese man-o-warts, a little jellyfish. And we actually have used that and it's, I mean, I've tried all the remedies, the Hawaiian remedies. but
Sushi.
That
Urine.
is hands down in 5 minutes. That inflammation is brought down. So it's activating. And that's
Exactly.
exciting.
It activates the skin cells to make anti-inflammatories, to do all that stuff we talked about.
That's right.
Yeah.
But even more exciting than that, okay, we are activating from the outside in, but now the company has just come out with activation from the inside out, specifically for the skin, but it's doing so much more than just the skin.
It is.
Now tell them what it's doing.
Well, we're not just giving you collagen, we're actually giving activation to particular genes. You can see on the chart there, the SOD gene, each of those genes are being activated to actually make certain types of collagen. Go ahead.
Well, I think that was good.
Okay. You can see there on the slide,
Yes.
take a screenshot of that, but basically we're giving I think the activation part is the quinoa, right?
Yes, the red
quinoa.
quinoa extract.
And activates the genes that actually help to
Mhm.
build this collagen.
Yes, and it also is activating an increase of SOD. You can see down there under the results, SOD is upregulated 27 times. And
We didn't
that's,
talk about SOD. It's an enzyme that basically eliminates 1 million free radicals up per second.
yes, so that in and of itself is huge.
And oxidative
because-
stress and free radicals are what damage your skin, make the skin look old. So
Yes.
super
yes.
important.
Then collagen is more than skin deep. So it's not just affecting our skin, you know, our what's we see on the outside, but as you can see here, tissue regeneration.
Muscle mass,
repair.
strength. Look at that.
Yes, gut
Gut
health.
health.
Gut health is so important. People are being benefited in their gut with this activated collagen.
One that surprised me with the blood pressure support.
Wound healing too
Yeah,
is incredible.
that made sense to me.
But also joint flexibility. I mean, as we get older, we get less flexible. So when we
Yeah.
can improve our joint flexibility, that's important. Insulin sensitivity. I didn't realize collagen played a role in insulin
Yeah.
sensitivity.
It's
That-
funny talk about aging. I just bought a shirt today. It says, what did it say? It says it's this weird to be the same age as old people. Anyway, go ahead.
You sidetracked me. Go ahead. So the
So
results are
in.
in.
Go ahead.
As you can see, collagen density, 42% increase. The depth of crow's feet reduced by 22%.
We definitely want the crow's feet to be reduced.
Yes, skin roughness, and that's one area that you have noticed.
Have you noticed
difference.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the decrease by 10%. So that's
I have
significant.
her put some lotion on my back after a shower on a daily basis.
The rough patches actually are peeling off. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. So very exciting. The blood
And look at the
catalase,
blood catalase.
202%. And again, that's another one of those
Enzymes like
enzymes.
SOD.
Yeah.
Catalase is super important.
Skin elasticity. As people age, you might know they just barely touching them and their skin breaks. So when your skin is elastic, that's important.
Super.
And the results are in, we can see it. Some amazing results that we have seen in just people's lives. That's so exciting. So with activation, we were excited about sharing this with everybody that we knew because of the stellar science, because of
Anyone that would listen, I would talk to them.
the way that it was helping so many people that, I mean, we were seeing personally. And then we started to notice something. We noticed activation in our pocketbook,
That's right.
which means
Well, I was getting paid
for
to
sharing.
do something I loved, right?
Absolutely.
Sharing good news, and I get paid for it.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, it wasn't what I was making at my clinic, but I could see that with continued, work and building a team, that it could grow into something. And a little backstory is that in 2008 and 9, I lost my retirement in the market crash, and I had no opportunity to really. I mean, I saw myself like, at what point would patients quit coming to see me? At what age would they? Even though I'm healthy and vibrant at my age at 65, at some point I'd be at Costco, sharing food samples or saying welcome to Walmart, which I wouldn't want to work there anyway. But that kind of in the future, because I couldn't be a physical therapist forever, right?
Absolutely. Neither did I want to work at a physical therapy office forever. I mean, I had visions of retirement and, maybe relaxing on the beach once in a while and not, chasing kids, teaching kids, doing billing and all those kinds of things. So having actually an income, a side gig income coming in that was growing and building was very significant.
Well, because
for us.
you work once and then each month they order, the company still pays you each time. It's not just, one time, one order you get paid. Like you do something once. I see a patient once, I get paid, whatever. This is just, it keeps going and growing.
Yes. And that brings up the company. So the company is publicly traded, but the company, and it's ethical because all of its products are clean, and you can look that up on the Think Dirty app. But it also wanted to compensate the people who were sharing this information in a very, very healthy way. And so they
went from retail
Mhm.
to direct sale because what we've told you wouldn't fit on the bottle,
No, it wouldn't.
right?
That's
And
what
so
we told.
I have a friend that actually went to the store to buy it after seeing ABC Primetime. In fact, have your friend who sent you to this, have you watch that. But they seen the ABC Primetime, went in to get it in the store, and the clerk talked them out of it.
Because they didn't know.
So that model wasn't working. So this worked much better. Instead of paying the advertisers, they just pay us because we're the advertisers now.
That's right. That's
Same
right.
price. They kept it the same price.
But they also made a compensation plan that really focused on a very strong and healthy middle class, which is very unusual in compensation plans for networking companies.
Well, they put the high percentage up in the first reachable areas as a new person.
That's right.
So that really rewarded those in the very beginning and encouraged them to stay on longer, which it did for us as well.
And they also have a part of their compensation plan where everybody can get a piece of it in the elite levels,
Right.
which actually made for a cohesive company where everybody helps everybody. It's not just like, I'm not going to help you because it'll affect my income. Everybody
Right.
helps everybody. And it's an incredible.
So our culture is
community.
actually a family community, really is. Everyone in the company, we're like family.
We've made so many neat friends, so
Yes.
many incredible friends who love helping people, who love taking care of themselves, and who love helping other people take care of themselves.
So you might be someone who, loves the products only and you want to be a customer. You might be someone who's looking for something that, can give you some extra money a month, maybe just to help gas or car payment, or even like us, we retired in 2019.
We'll stop sharing.
We retired in 2019.
I don't know how to stop sharing.
I know, off my mouth somehow. So 2019, we retired. So we did actually make that goal, didn't we?
We did.
And now we can't stop it.
Let's see. How do we stop the
I think
thing?
if you just go like this, maybe escape.
Oh, no, the escape won't work. Something fritzed in the computer. Well, hopefully you can see us. We are here. We'll figure this
Well,
out.
thank you
later.
for joining us. We're going to figure out how to close this down. Tell a person who sent you to watch this, your interest level, what you are, or you might even know someone. If you're not, you might know someone who is interested.
Who needs this activation in their life, in their
Yes.
health, or who needs this activation in their own pocketbook with a side gig.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So thanks for joining us.